Alright guys, welcome back to the Combustion Guys YouTube channel, and today we are hunting NASCAR paint schemes. Specifically, we are hunting the NASCAR Throwback paint schemes for the Darlington Throwback. So let's take a look at what these schemes are, and then we will select our favorite schemes. Well, technically Todd will have to go and select in the comments because he's not here right now. But I will select my favorite paint schemes, and hopefully Todd will go through, look at this, and put those in the comments for you guys to be able to read. So let's go! Alrighty guys, right off the bat we've got the beautiful #1 Worldwide Express UPS Ross Chastain paint scheme, throwing it back to Dale Jarrett. So this paint scheme looks really good. One thing you would notice is that there's a little bit more yellow. That made the yellow a little bit thicker, so it stands out just a tad better. But yeah, that looks really good. Even got the same basic UPS logo on the front. Worldwide Express a little bit different there, but it works with the UPS authorized reseller. So I mean, nice that the sponsor gave it a try and did this. It looks really good, and it looks like a little bit more on the glossy side too. So that should be interesting to see how that stands out, but looks really good. So like that. And also Kubota and Jockey switched up the colors on their paint schemes to be, or on their logos to be able to make it match. So that's really cool looking. Then we got the Ryan Newman, what would have been his planned Cup debut scheme, which was the number 30 AOL car. And so that's the Sunny Delight fill in here. If I remember correctly, this is like blue and then yellow, so they switched up the colors a bit, but that's a interesting throwback. Not one of my favorites, but still a cool looking paint scheme nonetheless. Definitely like me some Sunny Delight paint schemes, always look really good. Then we've got the throwback to Tony Stewart's 2009 Xfinity Series throwback. This is when he drove the HendrickCars.com Xfinity Series paint scheme, and this looks really good. I'm definitely going to have to get the die-cast of this. That is just a really cool looking paint scheme. I like it. Nice, simple, but really cool looking. So that's definitely cool. I don't know, some black wheels might have really made it, but that's a cool looking paint scheme. Then of course we're going to the old traditional castor oil colors here on the Brad Keselowski machine. Castor Oil GTX, beautiful looking Castor Oil GTX classic color scheme. So I think I've seen this on like some Trans Am cars, I think is where I've seen this paint scheme, if my memory serves correctly. And that's going to be a beautiful paint scheme to see on track. I love that. Hopefully there's a die cast of that as well, because that's an awesome looking paint scheme. Love that very much. Then we have, this is throwing it back to Don LaJoie from 1972 throwback paint scheme. I'm not sure exactly what series this car's from, but definitely cool to see this older looking paint scheme. And then there it is right there. That looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. A little bit off on like the numbers right up here. You can see this. The numbers are just a tad bit off, but other than that nitpicking, it looks pretty good. Pretty decent, so a nice little throwback. It's a cool looking car, I like it. I'm not sure I'd say it's a good throwback, but it's definitely a really good looking car any day of the week. I would like to see this Nation's Guard paint scheme run almost all the time, because it looks really good, I like it. Going over to the number 9, so we're getting a throwback to Bill Elliott's 2003 paint scheme, and this looks beautiful. Nice to see that Everham number 9 come back there, and luckily all the sponsors seem to sign on there pretty good and make it look good, but it's a sweet looking paint scheme. Simple, I mean there's not really much to it other than just red and then changing up the fonts, but it looks excellent. It looks really good, I like it. Then we've got the Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback paint scheme. So obviously this is the, I forget the exact name of it, but anyways, the baseball car, and you got the nice little threads of the baseball along the ledge of the car. You even got the baseball player, of course. It looks pretty good, and also, of course, where they did the picture and the review of it, that's pretty neat as well. Nice that Smithfield jumped on that. That looks good. Like that. Then we've got the 1995. This is Dave Blaney throwback paint scheme. So this is, I'm thinking his World of Outlaws. There we go. I was about to say Sprint Car, but World of Outlaws paint scheme series from '95. That looks really, really good right there on that car. Looking down here, it's not bad. They tried. I'm not sure if exactly what the exact color on this, because obviously you can see this is an older photo, so I mean the colors might not be as bright as they actually were on track. So I mean, but I don't know. It's not bad. I mean, it's a cool, definitely a cool change in the paint scheme with the little line there. I mean, that's pretty cool. So not bad. Then we got this paint scheme right here, Tony Stewart's Turkey Night Grand Prix winning scheme. So you got that all right there, and this looks pretty cool. I'm not going to say this is a cool, a good throwback, a nice, cool NASCAR throwback, but it's a really cool paint scheme nonetheless with the flames and then Mahindra tractors on there. That's cool. That I do like that. That is a very cool paint scheme, and then the bright yellow numbers on there. It's a really good switch up. I like it. That's going to be a cool paint scheme to watch on the track. I wouldn't say it's my favorite NASCAR throwback. I mean, it's cool that's throwing it back to one of Tony Stewart's car. It's just, I don't know. It's cool. It's really cool. I like the flames. I love anything with flames. Hey, it looks really cool. But that's a cool car. That's nice. Then we got this, which is interesting. We got the Matt Kenseth throwback scheme. I like it. But it looks odd. I don't know. With the regular shape, obviously this is rendered in. So regular shape of the car, that's a really cool looking paint scheme. This, I don't know. It just looks odd. It looks like this. Honestly, it looks like there's too much black. If I'm looking at it, honestly, it looks like there's not quite enough yellow to kind of offset the scheme. It's definitely odd looking. Not one of my favorites. For sure, but nice throwback anyways. Then we got this car, so we're throwing it back to the number 99 Xide, Xoid, I don't know how to pronounce that. Jeff Burton's number 99 car, which this is a cool paint scheme. I think I have, I forget the exact thing, but one of the micro diecast. I have a micro diecast of this, and that's a really cool looking car. Nice bright pink on it. Looking at the actual throwback, not too bad. The decks being pink is a little bit odd. Especially when you look at this right here, the white Xide. I'm going to say it's Xide. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that. I'm going to go with that. But the white logo right here, and then this being pink, and then, yeah. It's a nice attempt, but, I mean, the number's off. And they're pink for whatever reason. I'm not sure. They're very thick pink outline anyways. I'm not sure what the exact outline on these were, but just, nice colors. A nice color change anyways. So, nice try. Then we got this one. I was really excited when I saw this one. So this is a Mark Donohue throwback to the Pennzoil Machine American Motors. And that is just a beautiful looking paint scheme. The only thing I would probably change is the yellow here. If they had like switched that out for like white, I think this would be a killer paint scheme. I mean, even without that, it's still a killer paint scheme. It looks really, really good. Very sharp looking car with the old number 22, which I didn't even really look at for the second there because it blended in so perfectly. But they got the font. That's a beautiful looking paint scheme. Love that. That is really, really good. This is a throwback to a Jeff Gordon paint scheme. 50th anniversary, I believe, paint scheme that they did. And that's pretty cool. I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite color schemes. Nice that they have the little throwback to the City Chevy. That's kind of cool. That's cool. That looks like it turned out pretty good from what the actual paint scheme looked like. So that's nice. Not one of my favorite color combos. They're a little odd looking to me, but definitely cool that they threw back to the 50th anniversary Jeff Gordon paint scheme. That's pretty cool. Then we got this one. Who is this? Elton Sawyer, 1997. So this right here. Chewy1.com, e-bikes. Not bad. I can't really tell what if they got the side profile looking good, but I like the paint scheme. The paint scheme's nice. That nice bright blue. Got a little bit of, almost looks like in this rendering anyways, looks like it has some metal flake. That's a nice looking paint scheme. I can't vouch for how close it is to the original. Just from that particular shot right there, but that's a nice looking paint scheme. I like that. Then we have this one right here. This is Jeff Priest's late model scheme from 1998. So simple, pretty easy to do. Obviously, they didn't like go back and try to do the fonts to match, but that's a neat looking paint scheme. Nice and clean. It looks good. Nice United Rentals. I like that. I like it when I do like the paint schemes that do the roof a different color. I do like that two-tone. That I do like those paint schemes for whatever reason. And the white, it's a nice clean looking car. I like that. Nice looking car. This one right here, Jimmy Johnson Throwback scheme. I believe this is the Lowe's Power of Pride scheme, maybe? I'm taking a wild guess at it. That's what it kind of looks like. I'm not sure which one it is, but I believe that's what it's supposed to be. It's a cool looking machine. I like it. I honestly gotta admit that I really do love the color of the numbers and stuff. Not overly happy with Gregson's little outpost at Kansas there. Needs to tone it down just a tad, but that's a really pretty looking car. I think if it was a slightly lighter color on the wheels, I think it could look really, really good. But that's a neat looking paint scheme. I like that one as well. And then throwing it back to Richard Petty from 1968. That's a cool looking paint scheme. Not one that we get to see very often. You got the two-tone blue here on the bumpers. That's neat. But then the black roof. You don't see that very often. You don't see a Petty scheme with a black roof on it. That's cool. I like that. And even they changed up the font, which is weird because you changed it up here, but you didn't change it up here. But that looks good. I do like that paint scheme. That looks really good. I don't know. For some reason, how they did the rendering on these two, the cars just look really, really good. I don't know how to explain it. Just with the tires making them lowriders, I guess. It just, for some reason, the cars look meaner and sleeker for whatever reason. I can't explain it, but they look really good that way. But that is a little odd. You changed the font here, but not here. It's just a little, yeah, it's just odd. It just looks odd. That's where your eye kind of goes. It's just odd, but still, cool paint scheme. Like that. Then we got Kurt Busch Throwback paint scheme. So this is his Rubbermaid paint scheme, obviously. And that's pretty neat. Not the, they got the KB on the hood, so that's cool. That's not too bad. Won't say I like it a whole lot, but it's not bad. Pretty good. Then we got this scheme. What in the world is this? So this is another UPS Throwback scheme. Not bad. I mean, the giant country crock thing here. Yeah. They switched it up, so that's good. And it also matches with the sponsor as well, except for the blue Kroger logo there. Would have been nice if they switched that up, maybe to black or something. But other than that, not a bad looking scheme. Not one of my favorites. This was cool. So this is Kevin Hamlin Bowman Spotter. So this is his 2007 Xfinity Series Throwback scheme. I'm not totally... let's see. Oh yeah, so obviously... we got Josh Berry, he's going to be driving it, so that's how that's going. I do not recall Kevin Hamlin's car very well, the history behind it, but this paint scheme is sweet looking. It looks like a Davey Addison throwback, or one of the Addison brothers. I think it's Davey Addison's throwback. And with how they got the Ally logo to line up here, so it doesn't mishmash here with the red line, that is a beautiful looking paint scheme. Very, very nice. Like that a lot. We got the Ty Gibbs machine. This is definitely not one of my favorite Bobby Labonte paint schemes. I'm sorry. This is his Cup Series throwback that celebrated Joe Gibbs' introduction into NFL Hall of Fame. That's cool. That's cool. That's a cool thing to throw back to. But yeah, definitely not one of my favorite paint schemes of Bobby Labonte, or even right here. And also, with the, yeah, it looks kind of odd, but yeah, that's a cool paint scheme. Did a pretty good job with it. Then, of course, Ryan Newman, he is back for Darlington. So he actually, this is a late entry into the throwback scheme game. But Rick Ware is throwing it back to his rookie season. And the dedication they did to get the fonts right is beautiful. The car looks great. They got the Jacob J, getting the Mobile One logos. They got the Biohaven logo to look like the Speed Pass. they did a great job with this paint scheme. It looks great, and I can't wait to see him back on track. So that's definitely one of my favorite paint schemes right there. That's going to be cool to see. And then probably the one that catches my eye the most is this 99. Actually got the Quaker State back, which that makes it even better. But throwing it back to Ricky Rudd and his Quaker State mobile. Beautiful looking paint scheme. They also made the golden stripe here a little bit thicker just to really make those colors pop. And it pops really, really well. Much the font's a little bit off, in my opinion. Just a tad bit off from the actual 26, it looks like. But it looks really good. They made the Quaker State logo huge. Got it all there visible. They got it right there on the front edge so it doesn't get mixed up with the louvers and stuff. That's a beautiful looking paint scheme. I like that very, very much. That is very cool. So let's go ahead and pick out what is my favorite paint scheme here of the Cup Series, and we'll look at Xfinity and trucks as well. Definitely, I don't think I can pick a favorite paint scheme, so we're not going to try and do that. What we're going to do is, let's do top 5. Let's do top 5. So top 5, definitely the Castro Oil car. Love that. That one looks beautiful, so love that very, very much. Going to be cool to see that on track. Let's see here. Definitely the 22 Logano. That's going to be a really cool paint scheme. Going to enjoy seeing that on track. Honestly, this one's going to be cool to see. So that's 3, probably 4 right there, I'd have to admit. No, 4. This is 4 right here. And then finishing it off. Well, I know it's so hard because like I love this paint scheme. So let's try this again. So we'll just go with, this is 1, 2, 3, because this paint scheme is really, really cool. I'm going to enjoy seeing that. Got to go 4, because that's just, they did a great job making it look like the old paint scheme, and it's just beautiful. And then I'm going to put the Castro Oil car as 5 there. So that's my top 5. Because those paint schemes are really, really cool. So like those are going to be sweet to see on track. And of course Ryan Newman, going to be cool to see him back on track as well. Alrighty guys, so let's look at the Xfinity Series throwbacks here. We've got Cole Custer throwing it back to Jason Leffler. So this is a Haas tooling throwback to when Jason Leffler was driving. Looks good. I think the only problem is it looks like any other Haas paint scheme. Definitely changed up the font on the 0, so that's cool. Not bad though. Looks pretty good. This one right here is throwing it back to Kurt Busch and another Rubbermaid paint scheme. This would be Rubbermaid right here. I forget who the sponsor up here would be, but looks good. Nice paint scheme. Switched up the one font just a little bit, so that looks good. These I'm loving a lot. So AC Delco throwback to Kevin Harvick. Beautiful paint scheme. Always like this one. That's a really cool paint scheme. Really do like that. The Ty Dillon scheme. So this is actually a throwback to Ferris Commercial Mowers when they were in some different series. I'm not sure the whole history of that. It looks good. It's a nice looking paint scheme. Not one of my favorites for actual NASCAR throwback though, but it's a nice looking paint scheme, that's for sure. This one was kind of odd. So this is a Brandt Heritage scheme. It's good. I mean, for 70 years, so I mean they're celebrating that, but yeah, it's just odd. The colors are just odd. That's what I have to say on that one. The Tires Pros, this scheme is thrown back to Hutch Strickland. I do not remember this paint scheme at all. I'm almost thinking it's a oh, I think it is a Circuit City, one of those paint schemes. If it's Circuit City or the other one, I forget what the other store that went out of business at about the same time. But that's what it looks like. That's a pretty cool looking paint scheme. Like that. I definitely like that that particular design going on. That looks pretty cool. So that's nice. I like that one. This is the Pilot Flying J. So this is a throwback to other Pilot Flying J's. That's a cool paint scheme. Looks pretty good. Then this one, definitely like this one. So this is throwing it back to Tim Richmond. Folgers in your cup paint scheme. I mean, beautiful car right there. They also switched the numbers, I think, or maybe those are the numbers that they have, to 25. And I mean, oh, look at that. So they did a ton of work to really replicate that. That's cool. That's a cool paint scheme. So Brett Moffat's going to be piloting that one. That's a cool paint scheme. I like that one. That's really cool. And then this one, I get confused by this, but this is the fire department coffee paint scheme. That looks cool. So throwback scheme honoring NASCAR's fire and safety workers and first responders. Not bad. I mean, definitely got the nice look for the old fire trucks and stuff. So that's cool. Significance is kind of I'm not sure what the NASCAR's fire and safety workers. I'm not sure what that's all about necessarily, but that's a nice looking paint scheme. Also with the fire department coffee being on there, I mean that fits perfectly. So that's a pretty nice looking paint scheme. So throwback reveal. So the Magnum Contracting Incorporated, throwing it back to Bob Kozlowski, and you see the old car right there, and the car currently. That's not too bad. One thing I will note is you have all the sponsors up here in the front, and those are kind of missing here, so it's kind of drab right here on the front. But other than that, looks pretty good. Like it. That's a nice paint scheme. Definitely a little on the 70s side, I'd say, almost a little 70s style to some extent. So that's kind of cool. Then moving on, we've got the Kevin Harvick 2005 Quicksilver throwback scheme on the number 43 of Ryan Ellis, I believe. Yep. And that's always a cool paint scheme. The one thing that I will note is that sponsor did a good job. They did all the different stuff to get it to match with the fonts and everything, so that's excellent. One thing I don't like is because of the body of the Camaro, it doesn't look quite right when you put this on a Camaro body. It just doesn't. The modern Xfinity Camaro body just doesn't look quite right. But other than that, the dedication they did to get all these pots, sponsors and stuff to have the same font, that looks really good. So definitely like that. And then this is a throwback to Richard Childress in the 3. That's, by the way, that's a beautiful paint scheme right there. And so this is Sage Karam in the 44. That's a cool looking paint scheme. I like it. They really did copy quite a lot. Even got CRC back on as the sponsor, so that's neat. But yeah, they matched up everything, and it looks up pretty good. The only thing they didn't match up is the wheels. Chrome wheels, black wheels. That's a bit of a difference. But other than that, that looks really good. That's a nice looking paint scheme. Match the font on the numbers as well. That looks pretty good. I like that. And then this one, throwing it back to the Wheaties mobile of Dale Earnhardt Sr. And we got Dale Earnhardt 1997. Yep, All-Star Wheaties throwback paint scheme. Beautiful color. Love it. Love the font. And this is the Jeffrey Earnhardt mobile. That one is beautiful. Love that paint scheme. Yeah, that's awesome looking. The sponsor's a little bit odd. Forever Lawn Landscape as your Wheaties, but that's a really cool looking paint scheme. Like that a lot. Then we got the Jeff Bodine throwback. We got Jeff Bodine throwback scheme here being Jeremy Clements. Yep. And that looks pretty cool. I think the colors might be a tad off on the stripes back here, but they got all of the fonts to match up pretty well. Even got the sponsor on the front to be cockeyed there. That's cool. That looks good. Yep, that's a cool paint scheme. That's going to be cool to see on track. And then this one is cool to see. The Herbie Mobile. So we got Matt Mills, number 53. And so we got the Herbie fully loaded throwback scheme. And that looks really cool. Oh, they even did the fenders. They even put on the fenders as part of the scheme. That's pretty cool. That's cool. Okay, that's a nice little detail there. That's pretty cool. Like that. Alright, that's going to be a really cool paint scheme to watch on track. Oh yes, so look at this. So the dedication to get the little love bug logo and everything going on, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so that's a really good one there. And then this is the Kevin Harvick 2005. That's not too bad. I mean, they got the cartoon characters on there for call811.com. That's a pretty good job. Josh Williams mobile. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's good. Okay, I like that one. That's a cool one. And then this one here, this one came out, and I'm very partial to this one already. The Kinblock Tribute Scheme. This is a beautiful, beautiful car. If you haven't checked out Stuart Haas Racing, check them out because they do have limited time merch for this paint scheme, and the proceeds are going to the Kinblock Foundation. Beautiful, beautiful paint scheme. Love it. Love it very much. So, very cool Riley Herbst paint scheme. So, I can already tell you, this one right here is my favorite. Beautiful looking paint scheme. So, that's one right there. So, going to the top 5, there's 2. Gotta go 3. Going through here pretty quick. I'd say 4 right there. And then this one right here, I'm going to say is my 5 as my favorite. So there we go. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, and of course the Kinblock Special number 5. So those are my top 5 Xfinity paint schemes because those are really cool ones. But this one definitely one of my favorites. That's a really cool paint scheme and tribute to somebody we lost a little bit too soon. So definitely a cool guy. Liked him. Alright guys, moving on to the Craftsman Truck Series. So let's take a look at these. We got a tribute from Nick Sanchez in the 2 to Mario Andretti, the 1967 Daytona 500 win. And they even did the wheels. Beautiful looking paint scheme. They looks like it's not the best quality image of the truck, but they switched up the font at least on the 2. They even got the Nick Sanchez name down here by the door. That's neat. The wheels obviously looks like they might have switched up the font for the sponsor and stuff, but I can't quite tell just because it's a low grade image of the truck, whereas this is like really good image right here. So that's a cool paint scheme. That's going to be neat to see. This right here, this is a throwback to, not going to try to pronounce this guy's name because I will ruin it, but this is number 77 from 2013, and paint scheme there. Paint scheme here from, who's driving this? Dean Thompson. That's cool. I like how I like the square number. That's a pretty cool looking number. I like that. And looks like they might be a tad lighter on the shade of blue, but other than that, that's a cool looking paint scheme. Like that. That looks good. Then we get a Todd Bodine throwback from 11 to 17 doing the square numbers. So 2012, 2013. So man, I want to see the square numbers come back because that's really cool. But we got Didon tools there. We also got the space shuttle right here. Very partial to that. I like that very much. Gotta love the space shuttle. Greatest spacecraft known to man. Definitely cool. But anyways, beautiful paint scheme, and of course they're both Toyotas, so that's going to be a pretty cool looking paint scheme, and it fits honestly perfectly with the Didon tools. So that works out really, really good there. Then we have Herschel McGriff throwback paint scheme. So here we go. There's the car in color right there. Christian Eckes. That looks pretty cool. I don't think I've seen very many cars or trucks in the beige color, so that's pretty neat. So that's a nice tribute and throwback to Herschel McGriff. I like that. That's pretty cool. Definitely like the changing up the font to the number and stuff. So that looks good. And then we got the Roger Carew throwback to Wendell Scott here. So looking at the paint scheme that's visible, and that looks pretty close. That's one thing that's cool about going through this, is that usually you don't get to see these paint schemes in color. The older paint schemes, so this is kind of cool to actually see what the colors actually were, so that's neat. But yeah, they switched up the font. There wasn't actually a sponsor on the side, but still, you got that there. You got the cubic inch there. That looks pretty cool. Like it. Nice paint scheme. Nice throwback. Then moving on to, what are we throwing it back to? We're throwing it back to Sean Woodside. 1999 NASCAR West Series champion, 7-time NASCAR West Series race winner, and 78 career NASCAR Series starts. His champion throwback scheme. Okay. So they didn't quite give it as much skew on the number as the actual paint scheme did. As you see, that is a lot of skew there on the number. But that looks pretty good. Switched up the sponsors ever so slightly. Don't have a black bed, but still, other than that, not bad. Looks decent. Looks decent. And then this one's pretty cool because I do not get to see very many Buckshot Jones paint schemes, and this one's pretty neat. And so this is, and it's actually the sponsor, Crown Fiber, back on. That's cool. So Jake Garcia throwing it back to Buckshot Jones with the actual sponsor, and that looks pretty cool. That's a cool looking paint scheme. Cool. That is neat. You don't get to see too many Buckshot Jones paint schemes, so that's really cool. And then of course we got another UPS, the truck. We went to race the truck paint scheme, and having it on an actual truck looks pretty cool. One thing that is the weirdest thing that I've seen on this is the backward flames. I'm thinking that's actually part of the paint scheme, but still, to me, that just makes absolutely no sense where you have flames going backwards from the rear and also from the cabin. But still, that's a really cool looking paint scheme. Very nice to see UPS stepping up to help out with the throwback weekend. So that's a cool paint scheme. And then, of course, Richard Petty throwback with Daniel Dye in the number 43. Beautiful paint scheme. Love whenever we can see a paint scheme like this. Just awesome looking. Looks great. Did a good job with the numbers as always, and also got the little STP fill-in logos, which I'm surprised STP didn't jump in and help out a little bit, but still very, very cool. Then we got a Adam Petty throwback paint scheme on the 45 of Lawless Allen. Beautiful looking paint scheme. The sponsor looked like they did a pretty good job with everything. But that's a beautiful paint scheme. Very cool looking. I like that one a lot. And then this one's cool. So Mopar on Toyota. That makes perfect sense, right? But Units, they stepped up and did a pretty good job. They didn't really change up their font any, but still pretty good looking paint scheme. And they got all of the little barbed wire and stuff on there as well. Changed up the font on the numbers. That's cool. Nice. That's a cool paint scheme. Like that a lot. So this is Ted Musgrave throwbacks. That's what that was. So let's see. What are my top 5 in the truck series? That's going to be not quite as easy. Definitely one right there, the Mario Andretti. That's a beautiful looking paint scheme. Getting the name on the door and everything. Looks really good. I do like this Todd Bodine paint scheme, mostly because of the space shuttle, but still, the Didon tools and how that all looks perfectly together, I mean, that's just perfect, honestly. So, definitely like that paint scheme. That's very cool. So, that's number 2. This one, I don't know, I'm not super partial with it. It's definitely a very cool paint scheme with how much work they did to get the flowers on there and stuff. That's cool. Just, it's not really jumping out at me that much yet, but we'll come back to that in a second here. This one's definitely very cool. This one's a little bit odd, but like this one. So this is my number 2 right here. Buckshot Jones, definitely a very cool paint scheme. And of course they got the Crown Fiber back on. As much as I dislike Carson Hostfog, gotta go with this one. Beautiful looking paint scheme, even though the flames are going backwards for some strange reason. I don't understand that, but still, it looks beautiful. Love the truck. So that's my number 3. Number 4 has to be in here. This paint scheme right here looks beautiful. And I do like this one, but let me double check here. I think it's tied between these two. So 5th place, we're going to go and give it to the Adam Petty paint scheme because that's a beautiful paint scheme as well. And then this one as well is just a good looking paint scheme. So that's my top 5 in the truck. So let me know, guys, down in the comments. Please let me know what you think is your favorite NASCAR paint schemes, whether the Truck Series, Xfinity, or Cup. Definitely a lot of cool paint schemes this year, and definitely a lot of work went into them, as I can see, because a lot of people changed up the fonts and stuff, which is just so cool to see. So let me know, guys, what your favorite paint schemes are, and as I said, hopefully we'll get Todd in here. He'll be able to watch through, give us another view, hallelujah, and then be able to tell us in the comments what his favorite paint schemes are. But those are very, very cool. Love the Folgers paint scheme. That's really cool. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys here next time on the Combustion Guys YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We'll see you later. Bye bye.